I'm Nikhil Naz, with me, Ian Bell, Gautam Gambhir. Ian, I'll start with you on this one. You mentioned this is going to be a very, very crucial session for England. It'll depend where the test match goes. At the moment, where do you think they stand?
Well, I think it started the session, really well. There was a great partnership there with Kohli and Sharma. I think India will be really happy at the end of this day. I do believe, losing the toss, bowlers have done the business, and then being 3 down at the close of play, probably batting in the hardest session under lights, and certainly with the new ball. So tomorrow they'll come back with an old ball and batting probably the best time of the day to bat on the pitch. So great day for India and England. Behind the game at the moment, they're going to have to start again well tomorrow, but it doesn't look great.
Gautam, do you reckon India would already be thinking about bat once but bat big?
Too early to predict at the moment, because things can change very quickly on this wicket, especially after the wicket of Virat Kohli, because that is what England wanted, especially at the end of the day. If you can get a player like Virat Kohli, obviously they would probably be thinking if they can get 1 or 2 early tomorrow. Yes, 50, 60 runs lead, or probably even if they can get India all out around 200, they would still be in the game. But the most important wicket would be Rohit Sharma, because he's set now and he would probably get the right time now, probably the best session to bat at tomorrow afternoon. But then again, this wicket in the last over of the day is always very important, because once you come back tomorrow, England would be thinking that there's one batter who's actually just new on the crease. And obviously it's very difficult to start on this kind of a wicket.
We've already seen both the teams bowl now, and we've seen how the pitch is performing. So, Ian, now with the advantage of that hindsight vision, there's 2 schools of thought. One would say you should have played Dom Bess here. It would have helped to have another spinner. The other might say that is he really that level of a spinner that you needed him? It's better to go off with your best fast bowlers. Having seen the first day play out, where do you stand on this?
Again, we've seen 11 wickets of spin today on day 1. So you'd think spin is obviously in the game. I think the reality for those changes, again, I was surprised Dom Bess, was left out after that on performance. But you do need 2 spinners really. But it's just the quality. I think England have just shown they don't, thoroughly back their spinners over their seamers. So I can understand it. I think everyone in England understands. They picked the strongest team they think that will get 20 wickets in these conditions under these lights. But with 11 wickets to spin in one day, you'd think that you want another spinner. I think if the left-handers come in, you might see Joe Root come on. But there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for one spinner to do in a Test match. So Jack Leach is certainly both innings he's going to have to do a lot of work.
You talk about Joe Root. Just a word on that, Ian. You're surprised he didn't bowl at all?
I think we'll see him bowl when the left-handers come out, and I think they obviously Jack Leach has got a nice record. He's done quite well. It's a nice little battle there between Pujara and Jack Leach. That will carry on into the English summer. There's some little matchups there, isn't there, that you can see. So Jack Leach, the right-handers, you can fully understand. But again, like a seamer, again, he's going to get tired. We talked about it. India will just be saying keep him bowling, because like I said, it's spinners get tired as well, and then those loose deliveries will come along. I suppose in hindsight now, India have done the right thing by playing, I suppose, Washington Sundar, because they've got the extra batter now. They didn't need an extra bowler with what they've done. So it looks quite strong for India in this case. It's not going to be easy to start on, but India's in a great place right now.
Gautam, the same point that Ian makes. We spoke about this at the start of the day's play, that both teams went with completely different approach. But now looking back, India, you reckon, got the 11 right?
See, again, I think you can debate about it, that England could have gone with 2 spinners, but it's not about the spinners. It's about the batting, putting runs on the board. You've got the best conditions to bat. India got the best conditions to bat in the second Test match, and they managed to put 327. It's not about the bowling, it's about the batting. Imagine if England would have posted around 250 also on this wicket. England would have been in the game. So Joe Root, yes, probably Joe Root will bowl. And I still back Joe Root to probably bowl around 15-20 overs and can be very dangerous against the left-handers. They've got with the best attack. It's just that because Joe Root normally every captain tend to underbowl himself. It could be because the session was under lights and he thought that there will be more help for the fast bowlers from one end. That could be only one reason why he didn't bowl. Probably you'll see him bowling tomorrow afternoon. And he could be very useful. He bowls at the right pace as well. And it's just about probably putting ball on the right spot. And there's a lot that the wicket is doing. So England still went with the right bowlers. Broad looked really, really good in his first spell. He gives you control. Jimmy Anderson gives you control. Jofra Archer gives you that pace. So this probably was the best attack. And if I have to compare Dom Bess to Joe Root, probably Joe Root can actually give you more control as compared to Dom Bess. Yes, Dom Bess have got wickets, but Joe Root can actually do the same on this kind of a wicket. So I don't think so. There should be a debate that England could have gone with the second spinner. I think it was more about England putting runs on the board.
Ian, he talks about Jofra Archer there as well, and we all know about his pace. But I'm just looking at those numbers as far as the speed gun is concerned, 130s, 135. That's not something that you expect from Jofra Archer. Are you surprised with that, considering he's also got a rest now for the test match before this?
Yeah, pretty surprised. I think we expect, and we've seen that certainly in the short format of the game, he gets paces right up there. We know that. And I'm sure, again, with the luxury of having three seamers, but also you've got Ben Stokes and Joe Root, and there's enough. So his role is to run in and bowl as fast as he can for short periods of time. So not quite worked today. Obviously, he did pick up that early wicket where his paces were a little bit higher in the 140s. But that last spell wasn't quite what Joe Root would have wanted. But again, there'll be some discussions, I'm sure, because that's what he's in the team for, is to bowl short spells at high pace. We talked a lot, actually, again, like the different style bowlers. His job isn't about necessarily control. It's taking the pitch out of the equation and bowling fast through the air, giving Joe Root a different angle of attack. So I'm sure there'll be some concern that his paces weren't as high as they have been. And we had to rest the last game with, you understand he had an injection, an injury. So a little bit of a concern that he's not at absolute full tilt and the rhythm isn't absolutely perfect.
I'm staying with you. Yeah,
just a point. See, sometimes when you bowl on in wickets, and this probably is Jofra's first test tour, it can be heartbreaking. But that is where mental toughness is all about. You got to take the pitch out of the occasion. You can bowl 145, 150. You got to just go out there and bowl that. And even if you have to bowl 3 over spell, and Ian very rightly mentioned that he's one guy who needs to get the pitch out of the occasion, and he hasn't done that. Even in the first test match, he didn't do that. His pace probably only, apart from the first spell, was around 135, 134, probably in mid 130s, but you don't expect Jofra to do that. Jasprit Bumrah takes the wicket out of the occasion. There are very few bowlers who do that. So probably it's just that when he looks at the carry and he looks at the wicket, he feels that there's no point putting too much of effort and stuff, but he's there in the team to put that effort and probably make things happen, which he hasn't done that, honestly, on this wicket. He got a wicket, but that was actually of a bad shot from Shubman Gill, not by his own pure class. But then again, I think he looked little out of sorts. When you've got a rest, pink ball, under lights, you expect someone like Jofra Archer to be very, very lethal, but he hasn't looked any of that kind of sort.
What do you make of that, Ian? I mean, one thing we know, that I'm not taking anything away from Rohit Sharma. He's one of the best pullers in the game. But to pull Jofra Archer with, so little effort, it's not something that you're accustomed to seeing. I mean, he's troubled batsman with that short pitch ball because he's got pace. That's not happening for him.
No, and you're right. And I think that the reason why he's picked in the side, and when they rotate and use Mark Wood as well, is the fact that you want a point of difference. You want someone to bowl fast. They're not there for control. If you want control, you play Chris Woakes. So his role in the team has to be really clear. And you hope that there obviously has been that communication. It just hasn't happened. I suppose it's like anything, like batting, bowling, rhythm. The rhythm obviously doesn't quite look like he's at his best. Maybe he was done certainly in the World Cup when we knew he was at his absolute best. But it's a different game, isn't it? Playing test match cricket, 5 days, different conditions around the world. Workloads are different. Jofra's playing a lot of cricket now, more than maybe he did when he started with England. He's fresh on the scene. So he has to be managed in the right way. But there's definitely right. I mean, he's not doing what I suppose the team need, and that is him to be bowling at that 150s, asking different questions. Otherwise, you play a Chris Woakes who's going to give you the same control as Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson. So I think it's fair. And those are the questions that will be massively asked, certainly in the English media, and how they get the best. And we probably, if I'm honest with you, over the last 12 months, we've the best out of Jofra in white ball cricket. We still haven't quite found a way in how we're going to use him to the most effectiveness in test match cricket yet.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.